In our entrepreneur segment today, we bring you a story of an entrepreneur who began small and managed to transition into a formalized company or operation that is serving clients.
My name is Manyangwa Mariam Kadu, and I have a juice business, and I make this juice on a daily. And part of what I do, my daily routine, I wake up in the morning and do my personal hygiene and all that, and I start my day like this. I use fresh fruits, like you can see in the basket. This is part of what I use to make my juice daily. Carrots, passion fruit, beetroot, pineapple, and so many other fruits. I was inspired by a number of reasons to start this business. I have been working from home for a while, and number one reason why I started this business, after university, I tried working with organizations, with companies, and I took my CVs here and there, and it was all in vain. So staying at home, while I was already a mother at that age, I tried to look here and there to see what I could do to make sure I could survive and I could earn a living for myself and the child I had. I had a job, a small job then. I had a company where I worked, but since I had a child, it was really not giving me enough money to support both of us. So I ended up looking for something to do where I could not pay rent and I could get some money for both of us. So I went back home and I had some small savings of about 200,000. So I bought a small blender and disposable cups. I bought fruits with that small money, and I started with, the following day I started moving around where I was staying, giving people samples of my juice to taste, so that the following day I could start selling to them that juice. The people who tasted the juice really gave me courage to continue doing what I had started. So in about a period of 2 weeks, I could give about 20 people 300 mils, each glass of 300 mils at 1,000. So I ended up doing more saving and putting in more effort. I would wake up in the morning thinking where I would go, looking for new markets, mainly around where I stayed, because I could not have that enough capital to go places. So slowly I started making more juice from 1 jerrycan to 2 jerrycans and to more, until I made 20 liters. The main thing I kept doing is being determined that you have to wake up in the morning and do better than you did yesterday. Make sure that when customers complain, you work on your faults, mainly to the business side. So when they complain that the sugar is too much, when there is so much water, you make sure you work on what you have to improve as a business. So I made sure I worked on that every other day. I could go to customers and they could give me feedback. Feedback has helped me a lot in this business. To everyone who would like to start up a small business like this one, we didn't start off as a shop or a big company or a company that has a brand, but we started little by little from home. So from home, while I was doing 1 jerrycan and went to 2 jerrycans of juice, 5 liter, you need to be so much determined in what you do. While I said I started with a small blender, right now I use about 3 blenders a day to make about 2 jerrycans of juice per day. So to all those youth, to all those people who would like to do small businesses, the juice business has really got me somewhere. And I have moved to a bigger place. I have left home. From working from home, this is my establishment. I established my brand. It's called Daily Treat. So we make juice and snacks. To me, this is a very big achievement. Looking at where I'm coming from, I need to be thankful to all my customers, to the people who have supported me, and to myself for the determination. So this is part of what we do: snacks, samosas, chapatis, donuts, and there are a lot more we do. My market mainly involves a lot of people. To start with, the people around me, my customers, and we do deliveries to people in their offices, people at their homes, places of residence. We do functions like weddings, introductions, kwanjula, birthday parties. As a company, Daily Treat, we use this bottle. It's branded with our company name, Daily Treat Juice and Snacks. So it fetches for us more customers because it has our contacts written on. And the other thing is it gives our company uniqueness, that it identifies our company easily. As a company, in our effort to save costs, while we were using firewood and charcoal in the beginning to boil water, it was too costly, and you'd find that the water would collect more germs than when we use the new system we were introduced to. We use a water purifier. So in the beginning, the firewood was too costly. Like a day, to boil a 20-liter jerrycan, you'd use firewood of about 7,000, and you'd have to make sure you have to supervise. So it would take so much time supervising the person who is boiling. You ensure that the water has really boiled. So, but with the purifier, it has saved us a lot. As a company, we would like to make our business bigger and better. We would like to have an office around Kampala for our customers to have easy access, those from around Kampala.
Uganda is in a fairly tricky situation or position today. On the one side, you have high unemployment levels, and there's no doubt it's really high among the youth. But on the other side, you also have employers who are struggling to get people with employable skills. In other words, we have a challenge of lacking the right skills for the market. Question is, how do we bridge that gap?
One of my biggest experiences is that in very many areas you will find that it is not the jobs that are missing, but rather it is the skills that are missing. But even where the skills are present, those skills are substandard. They cannot enable us as a country to compete at a world-class level. So my concern is that while we are talking about tenfold growth by 2040, which is something which we badly need, we must also be investing in skilling our people to produce that growth. Otherwise, that growth will not simply come because we are gifted by nature. And look, this is what I mean. In the development of a country, there are certain skills which are basic. If we start, for instance, at the bottom, let's talk about the trades, okay? Let's talk about tradesmen. Let's talk about people in this category who include carpenters, okay? Carpenters who can make world-class furniture. Let's talk about masons. Masons who can build houses which have straight lines, okay? Let us talk about plumbers. Plumbers who can make sewage systems which work, okay? So across that line of technicians, we really have a gap. And I think somewhere along the way, we made mistakes in our education policy and focused on university education as opposed to investing in vocational skills. Because these vocational skills are the ones that are necessary to build the country.
In our innovation segment today, we bring you the story of an innovator who has been able to develop a mosquito repellent from just plants and other items around us.
Hello, my name is Joan Rukundo Naluvega, and I am the founder and CEO of Uganics, a social business in Uganda with a vision to fight malaria, put an end to malaria, especially for the mostly affected communities, which are rural communities. And we manufacture anti-malaria products like mosquito repellents. We also work, I talked about us working with the tourism industry, and we do this in two ways, locally and internationally. Locally, we work with hotels and resorts that have our products in their bathrooms. We work all ones that sell our products on their shelves. And also we work with tour companies that either resell our products or give our products as souvenirs to their guests or to their customers, clients, for example, Chameleon. And then we also work with tourist shops, for example, in maybe Craft Village, among others. And then internationally, to get because usually tourists buy their products before they travel. But also there are countries, even in Europe, where they still have mosquitoes or bugs. So our mosquito repellent also, or our products also repel other bugs. So we have partners in, for example, in Austria, in the US, that buy our products and sell them to the travelers or to people there before they travel to malaria-infected places that are not necessarily Uganda. And then we also have partnerships with like private entities like airlines like Lufthansa, Brussels, that have our products on board and also give them to their flight attendants that travel to malaria-infected places as their repellents. Oftentimes I'm asked, why do I care myself? Growing up, I grew up from an orphanage in Mpigi, not very far from where we work from. And I often suffered from malaria almost every week. I missed school a lot. I was bullied, and most of my schoolmates thought I had HIV because of my sickly life and my size then at that time. And that was one of the most traumatic experiences for me as a child, and not having my parents or guardians to help me get through that. So oftentimes I used to self-medicate, and it never got me anywhere. So in 2015, a friend of mine lost a child to malaria, and this kinda is one of the reasons why that traumatic experience came back, and I decided to do something about it. I decided to look for a solution to fight this disease so that other children do not have to go through the pain that I went through, go through the traumas that I went through. It's frustrating for some people to sleep under a mosquito net, so most of them lose hope and keep them in their suitcases for visitors, or even use them for other things like poultry, fish farming, and so on. So there was a lack of hope, and realized that there was a gap from dawn, when children are still out playing, when people are still in the gardens, until these people go to bed. So in the beginning, our focus was on creating awareness so that people understand the problem they're suffering from. They understand the different behaviors they can change in their everyday lives to fight malaria in-house, and also they understand the available measures like the other mosquito repellents on the market, and then also bringing prevention to bridge the gap from dawn until these people go to bed so that they are protected and the mosquitoes have no room to bite them, hence transmitting malaria to them. So when I started Euganics, or when I started this vision, when I had the idea or the motivation to start fighting malaria, I didn't really know what exactly I was going to do or how exactly I was going to achieve my vision, but I had to go into the communities to understand the problem deeper. So I utilized the people that were suffering from the problem, like the mothers in the rural communities, the pregnant women, talking to the health providers to understand how big or how urgent a solution was needed for this, but also understanding the behaviors, what is already being done, among other things. And also I depended on a lot of research that was already done by a lot of institutes. I reached out to a number of institutes, like I think around 100. I only got responses from around 5 and support from around 3 in our product, during our product development. But I was given access to different malaria research and also the solutions that were invented like from way back, like from 20 years back, and the tests and research findings that they had on different properties for mosquito repellent. And in the beginning, I was able to work with institutes like Makerere University Chemistry Department. I was able to work with institutes like Mannheim University in Germany to support us in testing our product, to support us while we were in our product development. And it took us a while. It took us a lot of failings because we started developing the product in 2016, and we were only able to get something that even works slightly at the end of 2017. So it took us time to actually be able to put together different properties from the different local herbs that we found, like citronella, like lemongrass, like lavender, tea tree, neem oil. And at the end of the day, we don't use all of these. So we have specific properties from specific herbs in the citronella family that we use for our repellent. We used to purchase our raw materials from external suppliers, but when we were working on our certification, our product certification in Europe, there was always something wrong with our product and we couldn't really track where it was coming from. And when we couldn't do this, because in Uganda, when you go to your suppliers and you start asking them questions about where they get their raw materials, where they buy their things, they think you want to take over their business. So because of challenges like this, we couldn't solve the problem. And the only solution that was obvious was for us to find ways of producing these raw materials by ourselves. But we didn't have the resources, the money, the land, anything. Because as a business, as a social business, our focus is on creating impact, which is beyond just malaria, but also impacting the communities that we work with. And reflecting on that, and when we revised our values, we're able to think of, okay, how about if we work with people that are already in agriculture? They already have the land, they already have the skills in agriculture, and we just need to equip them with a few skills and maybe set up the raw material extraction place for them. So we started training women in herb cultivation, giving them seedlings, training them how to make the seedlings and giving them seedlings, giving them methods, organic farming methods for how they plant them, they take care of them over time. And then we set up oil extraction centers for them. So right now we have around 48 women in central Uganda. They extract essential oils and we buy them from them. So in return, these are households that were not earning a stable income on a monthly basis, but now they earn at least $75 a month. Our product, the fact that people assume that a mosquito repellent should be dangerous on their skin, is going to be harsh on their skin, and it's not going to safe on their body, has affected us so much. We've had to explain ourselves in almost every room we go into, every new market we go into. and it's hard to change the perspectives of people, and it's been hard, but we have tried to use our branding. We got this advice from one of our advisors from Johnson & Johnson, changing our branding to really communicate that this is also a skincare product, and this is also a product that you're bathing with, like a bathing bar, and a mosquito repellent is an added benefit. So that our products are first a bathing soap before it is a repellent. The repellent comes after it's a nice skincare bathing soap. It's been hard to actually convince people that this will help them. And this has led us to, especially in the beginning, to give out a lot of samples so that these people can first test the product and then spread the word. And it has helped us through strategies like creating ambassadorship in the community, new communities we go in.
Well, that's all we had for you on this week's edition of Man and Market. Thank you for being part of the show. Again, we still have more of these stories on all our platforms, our YouTube channel, our TikTok channel, our website. Please pay us a visit and pick these and more stories, especially stories that are key to helping you make the right business or socio-economic decision. Until next time, I've been your host, Charles Boji. Good evening.